Yeah, I was born into, Catholicism, which is people that invented the Trinity. So I was in that until probably late 20s. But I never really thought much about it. Yeah, I grew up doing the old, boom, 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 boom. Never thought about it. What triggered it was I got into a discussion with somebody who brought up the Trinity. And I don't remember why it came up. It might have been a Jehovah's Witness or somebody. And I tried to explain it. And of course, you can't explain it because it's unexplainable. And so I felt like I had let God down. I was like, my goodness, I had a chance to explain this to somebody and I wasn't able to do it. I go, when I get home, I'm going to find out everything about the Trinity because I should know this. It's an important thing, I guess, and I should know. And then next time I'll be able to explain it well. And that's pretty much all you need. That's the catalyst that everybody needs. Look into it. Just that much. I mean, all it took was like Google origin of the Trinity, and you're off to the races, and you're going to start to see right off the bat that something's wrong, and then that piqued my curiosity a lot. The more I found, the more interested I got into, the truth. I wanted to know the truth. And I remember specifically praying to God and saying, look, God, I don't care which one, if it's the Trinity's true or the Trinity's not true. I just want to know the truth. So just show me the truth. Whichever one's fine with me. I just want to know the truth. And it just kept, that was everything. I mean, who wrote it or Rise in Tertullian? I didn't want to forget all the information, so I started putting it on paper. And then I figured, it took a lot of time. Back then, it wasn't now like a little Bible app that you have lexicons and Hebrew dictionaries and Greek all in one little app. You had to buy the books. You had to look through all the books. I wanted to keep the information where I could access it whenever I wanted to, so I started writing papers. And then I thought about other people. I go, most people don't have the time to do this that I do. I had time because I was a pilot. I'd have 4 days in Peru with a computer and my books. And that's how the website became active, because I just wanted to save all the information I was finding. I mean, I grew up in a faith that believes that Jesus is God, the Trinity. But like most Trinitarians, if you ask 90% of Trinitarians, they don't really know what they believe. They really don't. One of the best papers that I've ever read that will convince somebody that something is wrong with the Trinity is the explanation of the Catholic Church. And it's called The Blessed Trinity. Okay, written by the Catholic Church. If you read that, if you're a Trinitarian, you read that, you'll say, that's not what I believe. That's not even close to what I believe, because people don't even know what it entails. Most people think that the Trinity is God in heaven is the Father, and then if he comes down here, he's the Son, and then he's inside. That's not the Trinity. They really don't know what the Trinity entails. The Blessed Trinity is, you read that, and it is so complicated, and it's so not what most people think of it. And that's from the Catholic Church. Yeah, I would have said, yeah, I'm a Trinitarian back then because I didn't know any better. That's what I grew up with. So doing the little, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And people are lazy. I mean, I just put in that Facebook page. I put the paper proving the resurrection first, okay? And I had to put a video so people would actually watch the video, a short video, okay? People don't want to spend a lot of time reading at all, even stuff that's important to them. So the majority of people will just accept it's the easier route. Okay, you go to church and your pastor tells you this, it must be true because he went to school for this. So, it must be true. All the churches teach it, so it has to be true. Why challenge it? Okay, why am I I'm not a theologian. And unfortunately, that's what most people do. That's why most Christians believe it. They don't challenge it. And it's the worst place you want to go. Because if you're not schooled and then you go to a pastor, hey, this is not making sense. He'll say, well, look at John 1 and look at Hebrews 1:10, and then you'll walk away, oh, wow, yeah, there it is, okay, because you don't know any better. That's the problem. People are lazy. They don't want to do their own research, and it's very simple. Like I said, if you Google origins of the Trinity, right off the bat, you're going to see something's wrong. But that's the problem. And now how it lasted all these years, well, that's, it became law in the 5th century by the Roman Emperor. You weren't allowed to challenge it or you die, and most people couldn't read. Heck, the Catholics, I don't know if you know this, Catholics, which make up 80% of Christians, okay, worldwide, were not allowed to read the Bible. It was considered a sin until 1962 at the Vatican Council, the Second Vatican Council. So imagine, 80% of Christians worldwide are not allowed to read the Bible. How crazy is that? Because it's a sin. So how are you supposed to get out of that? So they didn't. That's why it's lasted so many years. If you just take 5 minutes and Google origins of the Trinity, you will see it. It is right there. And then when you go back to the Bible, things will start making sense. Jesus is exactly what the Old Testament and the New Testament say he is, the Messiah. That's exactly who he is. Okay. Son of God, Messiah, Son of Man is all synonymous. It all means the same thing. He's a man. And Messiah means a man anointed by the Spirit of God. That's exactly, it's very simple. It's not a complicated issue. The Jews are still expecting the Messiah, and they're not expecting God to come down. They're still expecting a man anointed by God. Okay, it was never, in the Old Testament or the New Testament, it was never stated that God would come down personally. That makes no sense. God's going to anoint God with God. Does that make any kind of sense?